Spider-Verse has a secret horror scene. It's time for the latest news out of animation. Even with Across the Spider-Verse tearing up theaters and Beyond the Spider-Verse getting ready to do the same next year, Sony isn't leaving fans to wait for more Spider-Man content. They just released a new short movie at the Annecy Film Festival titled The Spider Within. The show's director, Jarrell Dampier, drew on something you wouldn't expect: his own terror at being given such a high-profile job. When I was asked to direct at Sony, I accepted almost immediately. But that night, I had the biggest panic attack I've ever had in my life, and I spent the night in the hospital. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. Putting that experience into his work, Dampier took his chance to create a Spider-Man short and decided to go in a horror direction with it. The Spider Within features Miles suffering from a panic attack, leading to sleep paralysis. While he's unable to move, Spidey ultimately has to confront parts of his own subconscious. A dark figure representing his alter ego, an infestation of spiders crawling around his room. Thankfully, he has the support of his father to help him process these feelings. The short ending with the two of them together. It apparently took some convincing to get Sony to greenlight this idea, Dampier admitted to the Crown at Annecy. Apparently, some people within the company just wanted to watch more normal superhero stuff. Still, the short was ultimately approved, and the reaction from those who saw it at the film festival was apparently strong. Dampier wasn't able to share when The Spider Within would see a wide release. Either Sony will release it publicly to try and keep Spider-Verse discussion going during the wait for Beyond, or they'll hold it to include it with Across the Spider-Verse's arrival on home media. That's one way to get folks to buy a Blu-ray. Online discussion of the short so far focused on the growing trend of panic attacks in animation. This was largely kickstarted by Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which featured the title character suffering a panic attack. That moment got Puss in Boots in a lot of praise at the time, but as other animated productions like Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken, and the Velma reboot started including similar scenes, audiences began to notice this becoming a trend. And as such, they started making jokes mocking the idea that a movie now needed to feature a panic attack to be good. However, fans are pretty willing to see this from Miles. Given the amount of high emotional events Spidey went through in the Spider-Verse movies, the idea he'd have some issues to deal with is pretty believable. According to Dampier, series creators Lord and Miller loved the short, so they seemingly agree this makes sense for the character. And hey, with Miles' time in the Spider-Verse coming to an end, he's got some good reason to panic.